Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. Wife accuses husband of cheating, but he has a surprise for her. So, the posts I've written and posted here previously were written because a friend, an actor, asked me to help him putting a play together with scenes that illustrate couples' relations. That is why I began coming here and reading stories. But the truth is, I really prefer to know these stories looking at people in the eyes, as I get a better sense of the emotions that are behind the stories, which are the main point of doing the play. So I put out the word to my friends, and he did the same, and some people agreed to share their stories. So I've seen a lot of pain in people's eyes when they talk about what they went through. But nothing prepared me for what I heard yesterday. So this comes from a person known by a friend of the actor. We talked a few times about what is going on in his life, and it's a story that is 9 going on 10 years now. But yesterday, he called me and said that he would like to talk to me about some developments, and we went for a coffee after dinner. After a bit of small talk, I asked him what was up, and he just handed me his cell phone and showed me a recording of the conversation he had with his wife a couple of days ago. I'm not going to include a backstory, as it's all below in his own words throughout the conversation. So F will be the friend, and FW will be friend's wife. So, for the record, you just entered the office in her house and asked me if I'm having an affair, and I asked you to record this conversation before answering. Is this correct? Yes, it is. So are you going to answer me? In an angry voice, almost screaming. Yes. Yes, you'll answer me. Yes, I'm having an affair. How long has this film going on? Are you asking about the woman I've been with? About 2 years. 2 years? You've been unfaithful for 2 years. No, I've been unfaithful for 6 years. Or to the point, since the 6th of April of 2015. Yes, it was my birthday. I hired a call girl and spent a few hours in a motel. You're a piece of shit, you know. Why would you do this to me? Well, do you really want to have this conversation? Do you really want to go into the why? I'll tell you why. 9 years ago, you started to act different, and I couldn't wrap my head around why. There was nothing fundamentally different between us, and yet, suddenly everything changed. I started to have to walk on eggshells around you. It seemed that the fact that I'd grieved was irritating you, and I spent more time lost, wondering why, and tried to do the best I could. But things just seemed to be getting worse all the time. And then, our fun time, that was almost non-existent, stopped altogether. Then I found a piece of a condom wrapper in the car, as I was cleaning it, and suddenly, the reason became clear. She tries to say something and mumbles, but he stops her. If you want to know why, you'll know why. Just let me continue, and then you'll say whatever you want to say. So, in that moment, I felt a pain like I never experienced. I felt emasculated, low. I felt there must be something wrong with me. I wanted to hurt you. I wanted to hurt me. But then I thought of the kids and the fact that I love you so much. I decided I would win you back. But everything I did just seemed to annoy you. I took you to fancy restaurants, on romantic dates, took you on vacation to places that you always said you wanted to get to know, but in reality, you were never there. You were glued to your cell phone and I was completely transparent. You excused yourself with overtime and work functions, and I picked up the house, the kids. You did nothing, except work, and when you were at home, your cell phone was your world. But I was still trying. She can be heard crying in the background. From that time on, we had some sort of half-baked pity sex on 2 occasions, on the 6th of April 2013 and 2014. On your birthday, in 2014, I went overboard. We tried to plan the perfect evening for us, as a family. For you to just bail out, calling at the last minute saying you were stuck at work and would be late. Can you imagine the faces of our girls when you did this? Well, of course you can, but you never bothered to. They were heartbroken. This was the beginning of the end for me. I was going to divorce you and explode yours and yours lover's life. Hired a PI, found all the proof that I needed, all your dirty getaways, found where the guy lived, found his wife. I followed them, you know. And guess what? You can't even imagine how sweet your lover is to his wife. Maybe he is overcompensating because of his guilt. And then I saw his kids, and I just couldn't bring myself to explode their marriage. So I talked to lawyers about starting the divorce proceedings. But then I started to see how this impacted us, financially, how it impacted our lives and the lives of our kids. But let me tell you, At that time, if I had found a way to get away with murder, I would have strangled you with my own hands. And then, my 2015 birthday arrived, and there was not even the half-baked petty sex. Not even a kiss. Not even a card. You completely forgot. Well, it's not like you did anything for my birthdays either. Yes, but I did not forget them. I purposely didn't give a damn about them. But in your case, I do believe that I was so unimportant to you that you really forgot. And if you didn't, well, then we are on the same boat, aren't we? She just cries. So, that night, I hired an escort and banged her in the same motel you were at with your lover. And then I decided that the kids were really the most important thing, that not messing them up with all this was important, because they were already suffering from the neglect you were showing them. Neglect? What are you talking about? You want to ask them how they feel? Go ahead. Go talk to them and ask them. I dare you. Since. So, that's when we really had some blowouts, if you remember. But I knew your lover would never leave his family, so I knew that unless I did something, you wouldn't either. And if you did, well, I had really nothing to lose, and in the end, we would manage. That's when I stopped doing everything and started calling you out when you were in a bad mood because the clothes weren't washed or ironed, and I started to tell you to do it yourself. And so you decided to go behind my back? No. You are completely wrong. I never went behind your back. I never told you, but never hid it. At first, there was really nothing to talk about. After a dead bedroom for 3 years, my confidence that any woman would even look at me didn't exist. But I started to gain some self-respect back, started working out more, stopped drinking and smoking, started eating better, started living for the girls. And you know what? Can you imagine how many divorced soccer moms are out there? It seemed that I wasn't that bad, after all. It seemed that the problem wasn't me, it was you. Then, 2 years ago, I met my current girlfriend. The kids know her at family events where you didn't want to go. From my side of the family, never took her to your parents, even though they know. My parents know? Of course, I told them. I didn't want some rumors to get to them and didn't want misunderstandings. I wanted them to know what was happening in our lives and their grandkids' lives. I asked everybody to keep it a secret because, as I didn't want to disrupt our lives, didn't want the drama and everything else. And as our marriage was just a piece of paper. Everyone knows all of this? Just the kids in our immediate families. That's why I never went back to your parents' house and why I stopped telling you to come to mine. But going back, I never hid it from you. I left Facebook Messenger opened. My mail is logged in our home computer. My phone doesn't have a password. You just never cared, the same way that I didn't feel obligated to tell you. And after I fell out of love with you, I didn't care either. After all, we didn't even talk. We spent weeks where we didn't say a word to one another. We became two strangers living under the same roof, nothing more. And that is what we are. She just cries and cries. But I knew this conversation would be coming. To be honest, I never expected it would begin with you accusing me of cheating. I think even you can see the hypocrisy. Remember the phones I gave you for your birthday through the years? You think I did it because I loved you? Nope. They all had spyware on them. I've been reading your conversations for at least 5 years now. So I know where you've been, when. If I want to, I can even know how many times you screwed him on the back seat of your car, or his. And then, without warning, all communication stopped 2 months ago. And I saw how depressed you were around the house as, all of a sudden, your work didn't need you as much as it used to. Wonder why. And then I did some digging and found out about his accident, how he is paraplegic and being taken care of by the wife he was never going to leave, how he can't even move his arms to send you a farewell text. And I saw how nice you started to be to our girls and me, even though you were depressed. I knew this is coming. So I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. If you want a divorce, I've got 9 years of proof of infidelity, and I will take you to the cleaners. If you want to get out of the house but not get divorced, you can. But that is solely your problem, financially speaking. I would advise you to keep things as they are, at least until our younger goes to college in a couple of years. You can find another boyfriend or have your hokos, as long as you're discreet. Even though I know it will be different now, because you are almost 50, and you can always find someone to bone you. But I doubt you'll find someone that wants something more meaningful. As for me, life will go on, as it has in the last 9 years. There was more stuff on than recording, but this was the important part, as I saw it. I asked him if I could transcribe it and put it here, and he agreed. So, he knows this is posted. Don't know if he is a Reddit user. How do you guys feel about what his life was for the last 9, almost 10 years? Let's check in with the community on this one. Run 1 says, usually it's the cheaters that always accuse their spouses of cheating, projecting themselves onto the others. Typical gaslighting behavior. The audacity of the cheater to confront her husband is beyond me. And this man took infidelity to the next level as far as friend zoning his wife to nothing but a roommate, while he goes and gets himself a girlfriend to live his own life. That's much more brutal than a divorce, but honestly, she deserved it. However, the husband deserves so much better. He literally accepted that his wife will always remain a cheater and went on with spending his life with her. A bittersweet ending. Fit November chimes in. I just find this so sad. Ultimately, how about the kids? They know their mom is a cheater. They know their dad is a cheater. That is what he is also. I've always wondered where these people get the time to cheat when they have kids. It's just disgusting. Your friend felt betrayed. Fine. But his revenge just sounded dumb. You spend so much time and energy trying to get revenge on a woman he doesn't even love anymore. What lessons will the kids learn? Sometimes it's just best to walk away. The OP answers, he's not trying to revenge her. He moved on. Just can't move out, under penalty of lowering his kids' life standards a lot. So he chose his kids. If he could, he would have solved this long ago. People's lives are not perfect, and God gives you honey, but sometimes gives lemons. And if God gives you lemons, make lemonade. Make the best of what you have and how you can.